Welcome back, Steelers Nation and Gridiron Gang, or I can't ever pronounce the name of the page. Alto Legacy, something like that. Anyways, um, we'll fix that in post. Uh, that was a rough game for us at home opener. Not going to dwell too much on it. You know, it's a Mike Tomlin game. It's rough, but you take the good with the bad. He has a tendency to lose early games that should be won and things like that. But I'm not going to put this blame solely on the coaching staff. You had a few young guys make some big mistakes that cost the game. So offensively, I'll start off there like I normally do. Aaron Rodgers, not as good as the first game, 18 of 33 for 203. A lot of those came on the 165-yard catch and run by Jalen Warren, who had a great game. Rushing was a little bit better, not as good as it could be, but typical Steelers starting running back, low carries, low yardage. But we'll see as the year goes on and the offensive line meshes and him and Aaron mesh and things like that. Um, but the passing game needs to be better. You can't have your running back as your leading receiver. Not sure what happened with DK, but he had 3 receptions and the 1 touchdown, which was nice. But he was 4th or 5th on the yardage list here. He's got to have more than that. Our tight ends looked productive. Pat had 3 catches. Jonnu Smith had 4. But we had one, not necessarily boneheaded play, but like I said, it's a young offense that hasn't really played with a leader like Aaron Rodgers, and people are going to bag on that and say that he's not really a leader. He's only out for himself. But up until this point, Calvin Austin, who his quarterback's been, Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, neither one of those guys has the talent or leadership. Russell Wilson he's not a leader, never has been a leader. He has a big arm and he had mobility. That's why he was the quarterback he was. But even going back to his Seattle days, they didn't look to him to be a leader. But I think Aaron Rodgers can work with him. And like you said, on that play where he not necessarily cost the interception, but had the ball in his hands and didn't catch it and was kind of in Pat's area, that's something they'll iron out. You'll iron out those plays on offense and you'll figure that out, which is, it's nice to have a veteran guy around like this that can help. DK as the leader in that in wide receiver room, Jonnu and Aaron, they're going to help these young guys figure this out and make this offense not only productive this year but moving forward. So I mean that's my take on the offense. 17 points isn't the greatest, but you got 7 taken off by that interception, and then um, I'll get into the special teams play a little bit later. But then you're playing catch up towards the end of the game, so you don't really have time to call the offense that you want to call. Defensively, whew, second straight game of over 30 points. I mean, 7 of them aren't on them necessarily, but still, you got to keep. You got to keep them in check. You're supposed to be a historic defense. What people have said, or some have said, Mike said that himself, but another veteran team, veteran presence. You don't have a lot of young guys making mistakes, but I mean, you do have a lot of injuries, so you do have a lot of young guys out there now, or in this game anyways, that could have led to things not being where they needed to be. You lost Alex early. Patrick was dealing with some rib injuries, and then what else happened? Somebody else got injured that not Benton. I can't think of the other guy from Wisconsin. Loudermilk, he was out, so you got a lot of those guys that you were expecting to take snaps missing. So a lot of younger guys are coming in, not really knowing what they're doing, but that's not really an excuse. They need to be prepared. They need to be in those meetings working with those guys and being ready to step up. The defensive's got to get it figured out. You can't have your head coach be a defensive guy and look like this. But I got no problem with it. I think they'll figure it out. It's early. It's like Aaron said during his press conference. It's week 2, and like TJ said, it's not. They're not. They have the talent. They have the schemes. They just need to execute them. And you can see a few plays. Peyton Wilson getting not necessarily blown up, but not necessarily knowing what he needs to do. But he's a young guy, so he'll figure it out. You just got to lean on this veteran leadership to kind of right the ship here, and hopefully Derek Harmon gets back soon enough. I don't know if he's going to be the fix for the run game, but he was expected to be there and clogging up that middle. So let's get him out there, get him healthy, and then him and Yaya Black, a couple of young guys, can help spell Cam and those other interior guys, and maybe we can stop a run for once, because we can't keep giving up these giant yardage plays that we've been giving up. Just trying to look. Yeah, we had another game of over 100-yard running back, and that's another thing that comes down to, was the team deflated after a few mistakes here and there that they kind of gave up. They had them in that 3rd and goal from the 20 that that Walker just kind of basically walked in, but another couple bad cues or bad angles on that cost us, stopping them there for 3. So that's what gave them the 2 touchdown lead. And here's what it is: kind of snowball effect. You can't have mistakes, self-inflicted mistakes in football games, especially not this team. The way Tomlin's had it running for the last 19 years, self-inflicted mistakes are going to kill you. This isn't, not fumbles or interceptions or things like that. Just things that you do that cost you plays that, they shouldn't have. Special teams, Boz went out there and had a Boz game. I used 2 for 2. Let me scroll down here. 3 for 3 on field goals. 9 points in the game. Corliss Waitman, hell of a game punting as well. But you had the one big gaffe, and I said it in our chat for the page. I'm like, I don't know a lot about the new dynamic rules, but I do know once a football's live and in bounds, it's live for both teams. So that's something, even though he's a rookie, you got to know. You can't just walk away from that ball. Go get on the ball. But you got to coach him up, too. Danny Smith's been doing this for a long time. I'm sure he said it in meetings from here and there, but it probably got in one ear and out the other ear somehow. You just gotta coach up Caleb Johnson. So that, I'm not gonna pin the whole game on that, but that was crucial. We were only down 3 there, and we were getting the ball back, and I believe it was a drive or 2 drives before the offense was clicking, and we were down in our red zone and looking to score, and we had the interception. So just a couple mental mistakes that you can't have in an NFL game from young guys that hopefully get coached up by the veteran leadership and the coaching staff, and we will not see these mistakes in week 15 or 14. So overall, 1-1. Would have liked to have been 2-0. Should have been 2-0. But you take the lumps. Your team's got to learn. We do have a lot of veteran guys, but we do have a lot of young guys that we're counting on for key contributions. The offensive line wasn't the greatest, but I think they looked a little bit better than they did against the Jets. But they're, like I said, they're another young key, and I think Aaron looks to be positive. A lot of times in the past, he's kind of thrown teammates under the bus, and I think if you listen back to what he said, at least after the game, I haven't seen anything since after the game, but he coached those kids up with the words that he said. He said they're good, young kids, and they just made mistakes that you can't have. But they'll learn. This veteran presence on this offense, I think, is going to be key going down to the rest of the year. I hope that they get these guys going to where they could be in the next few years, because after this year, Aaron's probably gone, so we need someone to step up and be that veteran presence for the new quarterback coming in. So hopefully they learn a lot this year, and we're on to New England.